So there is actually a country in Europe, a rich nation, which is visa-free for all the citizens of the world. So it does not matter which passport you hold, you have a visa-free access to this rich nation. You can actually work and live, or rather I should say live and work in this nation indefinitely. So there is no time frames, there is no visa requirements, but there are some considerations. There is requirements for your wealth, so you should be financially independent. You should have the financial means to support yourself throughout your stay in this country. But there are certain treaties which prevents this region from requesting you for any type of entry visa. So anyone pretty much can live here. So we're talking about the archipelago of Norway, which is Svalbard. And while it sounds very convenient that you land in this country visa-free, establish your residency, and then can actually live for the rest of your life in this region, there are a few caveats which makes this slightly more difficult than it sounds. So the first hurdle is how do you get to this region. The second is the temperature. So in winters it exceeds temperatures of, let's say, -20. So that is extremely cold. So obviously you have to take precautions for securing yourself in such temperatures, especially if you aren't used to this type of climate. And then the second issue is it's difficult to find housing. There's a small community that resides in this region. It's extremely difficult, I would even say in some cases impossible, to secure land in this country because everything is pretty much pre-owned. And if you are renting in this location, then you have to break through the community. You have to secure a place. You should find someone to host you. But the first requirement of access through Norway, you would obviously need some sort of visa to enter Norway if you need one. Let's say you are from a developing nation and your passport is weak and you need access to Norway, then first you have to secure your visa to Norway and then travel to Svalbard. So easier said than done. But let's say that you make it, you get there, there is no visa requirement, you can spend the rest of your life in that country. Theoretically, it's all possible. Practically, it slightly gets challenging. Most of the good passports, the strong passports from developed nations, have access to Norway. So as long as you have that, you can actually enter Svalbard and have access to this region. And because of the difficulty associated with conditions in this country, it obviously isn't oversubscribed. Not a whole lot of people, except the people who actually live there, are occupying most of the territory. But that doesn't mean every once in a while you don't find someone going on the adventure, someone trying this location out. But it's an interesting part of the world. It's an interesting treaty. The Treaty of Svalbard of 1920 prohibits the nation of Norway requesting anyone for a visa for entering this region. I thought this was an interesting part of the world and requires a mention. I hope you liked this piece of information. If you haven't subscribed to my channel, take a moment and go ahead and subscribe, because here we discuss real estate investments which lead to residencies and residencies that lead to citizenship. And if you want to get started with any of your residency in any part of the world that I cover, and I cover a lot of options which actually provide programs by residency, almost all. So if you haven't subscribed, take a moment and subscribe to this channel. And if you liked this video, give me a thumbs up and see you in the next one.